fairly claimed thousands of precious American lives. To every citizen who has lost a cherished loved one, your pain is our pain. We mourn as one national family. Our country has come together.
Except you want to rush us back and kill more
We draw
people.
solace from the faith that God has received and the departed. He has taken the departed into his eternal and loving embrace.
You're not
They
that
will never be
religious. Shut
forgotten.
up.
Over the last weeks and months, millions of Americans have joined together in a shared national sacrifice to halt the spread of this horrible disease. The Army built field hospitals and sports arenas and convention centers. The Army Corps of Engineers is great. Over 20,000 beds in record time.
I should have a counter up here that says
The Navy sailed hospital ships to our biggest cities.
Counting all the times he sugarcoats.
Life-saving supplies and experimental medicines were rushed.
And then there should be
to the
another
front
one up
lines
here that goes.
as we launched a rapid
Not taking
search
responsibility.
for
Not taking
groundbreaking treatments
responsibility.
and vaccines. We built the most advanced and robust testing anywhere in the world, and we've done more testing than any country.
Not per capita.
Anywhere in the world.
Not per capita.
We suspended dangerous foreign travel. We leveraged our industrial base to produce vast quantities of critical medical gear and enacted a historic $2 trillion relief package. Through it all, we have seen the heroism of our doctors and nurses like never before. These are our warriors. The bravery of our truck drivers, such bravery. And food suppliers, such incredible bravery. And the determination and drive.
Except the morons
of
that
our
kept on
citizens.
going when now we're sick.
Through this unified national endeavor, we have made great progress. You could really say incredible progress. Our experts and scientists report that our strategy to slow the spread has saved hundreds of thousands of lives. Models predicted between 1.5 million and 2.2 million U.S. deaths. If there was no mitigation, it could have even been higher than that. And between 100,000 and 240,000 deaths with mitigation. It's looking like we will come far under even these lowest numbers.
Unless you let us out
Thanks
too
to
early
our
and encourage
all-out
people to open up
military
too
operation
early.
And the extraordinary devotion of our people, we believe we will experience far fewer deaths than even the optimistic projection. But there is no such thing as an optimistic projection on death. One person is too many. Our experts say the curve has flattened.
Yet you would have more.
And the peak in new cases is behind us. Nationwide, more than 850 counties, or nearly 30% of our country, have reported no new cases in the last 7 days. Because of our early and aggressive action, we have avoided the tragedy of
one
healthcare
county is the same as another
rationing
county.
and deadly shortfalls that have befallen many other nations which, wherever possible, we are helping. In America, no
Land
person
mass is not equal people.
who has needed a ventilator has been denied a ventilator. We're making hundreds of thousands of ventilators. We've delivered thousands and thousands of ventilators to the states. And actually, it's been an incredible operation. We started with very little, and we ended with a lot.
Blaming
The
others.
United States has achieved a significant lower mortality rate than almost all other countries. Based on the latest data, our team of experts now agrees that we can begin the next front
Team of experts.
in our war,
Not
which we
anybody
are
like
calling
medical
opening up
with medical
America
expertise on
again.
that panel.
And that's what we're doing. We're opening up our country.
And more people are going to die
We have
because
to
you
do
are
that.
irresponsible.
America wants to be open, and Americans
Of course we want to be open, but it's an
As
idiotic
I've said
venture
for
to
some
open
time
too
now, a
early.
national shutdown is not a sustainable long-term solution.
Nobody says it's sustainably long term, but
To
we got to do
preserve
it
the
for
health
the
of our
short
citizens, we
term.
must also preserve the health
At
and
6 months is short
functioning of
term,
our
if 6 months
economy.
is needed.
Over the long haul, you can't do one without the other. Cannot be done. To keep
We don't
vital
have enough
supply
testing.
chains running, these chains have to be
Don't have testing, don't have
taken
a
care of so
vaccine.
delicately. They're delicate. The balance is delicate. We want to deliver food and medical supply. We must have a working economy, and we want to get it back very, very quickly.
It can be working without being
what's
everybody
going to
coming
happen.
back out and doing everything.
I believe
We still need
it will
social
boom.
distancing.
A prolonged lockdown combined with a forced economic depression would inflict an immense and wide-ranging toll on public health. This includes a sharp rise in drug abuse, alcohol abuse, suicide, heart disease, and many
Then
other
deal with
dimensions
that.
of physical and mental
Then
well-being.
deal with that.
Moreover, many patients have put
Don't
needed
open
medical
up.
care
Don't
on
stop people from
hold,
dying from alcoholism and
creating
drug
entirely
use
new hazards for public
and
health.
heart disease with them dying from
The
corona.
country has suffered. The world has suffered. 184 other countries have suffered. Therefore, my administration is issuing new federal guidelines
And I'm going
that
to
allow
end
governments
suffrage.
to take a phased and deliberate approach to reopening their individual states. I've dealt with them now a long time, and we've had a great relationship. Democrat, Republican, the relationship has been good. This strategy is based on hard, verifiable data. I want to
he
thank
said hard.
Dr. Birx for her incredible leadership in crafting these guidelines in consultation with scientists, experts, and medical professionals across government.
And business leaders who you probably listen to
Dr.
more
Birx
than the
will
doctors.
explain the guidelines in more detail in a few moments. And Dr. Fauci has been absolutely terrific. We've all worked together, and we've worked together well. They are interested in the health of our
Sugarcoating.
country, and we're all interested in the viability and making us truly great again. We took the greatest economy in the history of the world, and we closed it in order to win this war. And we're in
Against
the
this
process of
invincible
winning
enemy.
it now. Our approach outlines 3 phases in restoring our economic life. We are not opening all at once, but one careful step at a time. And some states will be able to open up sooner than others. Some states are not in the kind of trouble that others are in. Now that we have passed the peak in new cases, we're starting our life again. We're starting rejuvenation of our economy again in a safe and structured and very responsible fashion. Our strategy will continue to protect senior citizens and other vulnerable populations while allowing military and other groups of incredibly talented people to go about their real business and the business that's supposed to be hard at work at doing, and nobody does
What is
it
that?
better. Our
Hard at work
military
at
is the
doing?
greatest anywhere in the world.
What is that word
And
salad?
we're so thankful for what they've done. Healthy Americans will now be able to return to work as conditions on the ground allow.
Healthy
Instead
Americans
of a
can be
blanket
vectors of
shutdown,
transmission to all those
we will
other people,
pursue
you
a focus
dolt.
on sheltering the highest risk.
You don't just shelter the high
individuals,
risk
so
because the
important.
people who are low risk who can still
Establishing
carry the
clear
disease can carry it to the people who are high
scientific
risk.
metric and benchmarks on testing,
You're going to kill people.
new case growth and hospital capacity that must be met before advancing to each phase. And that's each phase specifically in the reopening
And you haven't
of our
spoken out
country.
against any of these whole
This is a gradual
Operation
process
Gridlock
as the
or
caseload in a state
Open the
continues
US
to
Now
go
or whatever the
down.
other hashtag
Restrictions
is,
can
people
continue to be eased and
who are
come off.
protesting irresponsibly.
Throughout the process, citizens will continue to be called upon to use all of their weapons in this war: vigorous hygiene, teleworking when possible, staying at home if you feel sick, maintaining social distance, sanitizing commonly used surfaces, and being highly conscious of their surroundings. Those are our weapons, and they're very powerful
So
weapons.
use all of them combined.
Governors will be empowered to tailor an approach that meets the diverse circumstances of their own states. Every state is very different. They're all beautiful. We love them all, but they're very, very different. If they need to remain closed, we will allow them to do that.
We will allow them. He
It is
doesn't have the
time
authority to prevent them from doing
We will
it.
provide them the freedom and guidance to accomplish that task, and very, very quickly, depending on what they want to do. We are also encouraging states to work together to harmonize their regional efforts. We'll have numerous cases where states have worked and will be working very, very closely together. As we reopen, we know that there will be continued hardships and challenges ahead.
Yeah, more
Our
people
goal
dying
will be to
because
quickly
you're
identify
too much
and
of in a rush to
address any
reopen the economy
outbreaks
again.
and put them out rapidly. If the virus returns in the fall, as some scientists think it may,
More likely to do so.
these guidelines will ensure that our country is up and
You
running
acting
so that we can
irresponsibly.
likewise put it out quickly. At the heart of our strategy is the vital role of medical research, especially for therapies that will significantly improve outcomes.
Hydroxychloroquine is the miracle cure.
And reduce the
Trust
need
me, I'm
for
a snake
urgent
oil
care.
salesman.
This will be tremendously valuable in allowing life to eventually return to normal. At least 35 clinical trials are already underway, including antiviral therapies, immune therapies, and blood therapies in the form of convalescent plasma. You've all heard about some of these events and some of these therapies. They've come a long way. What's been done in the last 4 weeks is incredible.
I'm sure.
We will also continue to expand our testing capacity. We have now completed more than 3.5 million tests, by far the most anywhere in the world. Areas of our country that have been hotspots have done much more testing on a per capita basis than South Korea. We've done more than South Korea, and South Korea's done a good job, but we've done more. We will continue to work with governors to advise them on how to conduct both surveillance and diagnostic testing. We have now distributed over 600,000 Abbott ID Now point-of-care diagnostic tests. These are tests that are done on site, and within 5 minutes you know the answer, positive or negative. In recent days, we have seen a dramatic increase in the number of tests performed by hospitals and academic institutions, with more than 120,000 tests recently reported in a single day, far more than any country in the world has ever been able to do. And our numbers are actually going up. As these new and better testing solutions come online, we're seeing this additional capacity reflected in the numbers. For this reason, the number of tests processed in commercial laboratories has dropped from approximately 100,000 to roughly 75,000 tests over the last week. The reason it dropped is because we have so many other tests and we don't even have to go through the laboratories. But the laboratories have tremendous additional capacity, and states feel free to use that capacity. Some in the media falsely reported this as a bad thing, when in fact it is a great thing, because it indicates that the states are moving to faster, more local testing solutions, including on-the-spot tests. So this drop in the utilization of commercial laboratories is an affirmation that testing, which is at an all-time high,
still not the best per capita,
growing at a historic rate. In other words, the laboratories are great, but now we have forms of testing that are much quicker, much better, and we don't have to use the laboratories, but they're there and they have a great capacity to do the work. As Dr. Birx has been advising our governors for weeks. We continue to have an excess testing capacity of 1 million tests per week available for use, and our capabilities are growing every single day, especially with the new tests that are coming onto the market rapidly. As we begin a science-based reopening, we must be extra vigilant in blocking the foreign entry of the virus from abroad. Border control, travel restrictions, and other limitations on entry are more important than ever to keep the virus in check and allow Americans to get back to work. The sacrifices our citizens have made in this time of crisis will be remembered, studied, honored, and praised for generations to come. We're really all working together.
No, we're not, because you're
Democrat,
setting a bad example trying to force
Republican,
people to come back out early.
Conservative, liberal, we're all working together. This is not about parties.
Your lack of leadership is encouraging people to do things
now
like
the
these
American
stupid
people
protests.
are ready to rise to the
They're
occasion
going
once again.
to spread the virus
They are
more.
ready to show the world once more that Americans can defeat any challenger. Together we will rebuild this land that we love.
People are going to look at your presidency and be like, how stupid were they getting a game show host to be a president?
And we will carry our nation forward,
a reality TV show
to new
host
heights of greatness and glory.
Who shaved Vince McMahon's hair
I would now like to
at WrestleMania.
ask Vice President Mike Pence and Dr. Birx to further explain the new guidelines. I want to thank Dr. Birx. I want to thank Dr. Fauci, and I want to thank really especially a man who has devoted 24 hours a day to his task force and done such an incredible job, our great Vice President, Mike Pence. Please, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. President. The members of the White House Coronavirus Task Force today joined the President to meet with bipartisan group of
all right, that's enough for today. I gotta go get myself some dinner. But this, I mean, later on I'll see what all of these specific guidelines are for getting back, but the problem is that he's not setting the example. You know, yes, we should be looking at what steps we should take when it becomes responsible to open states back up, but we need to do it responsibly and be not in a hurry to do so. And his setting up this hurry, this rush to get back, is causing others to be impatient, and those people are then going out protesting these in states saying, let us get back out, stop putting us under house arrest or whatever they want to call it. You have people doing Operation Gridlock who are blocking people from getting to the hospitals. It's irresponsible, and these people are just questioning the science altogether. They just, oh, it's just the flu. Oh, it's just, the flu has killed more people. This is just a cold. No, you idiots, it's not. You need to listen to the experts, and that's what this president is not doing. He's not listening. He's at least begrudgingly being dragged along to eventually maybe sometimes listen to the experts while fighting back and be like, but we need to open the economy now because America wants to get back to work. America wants to get back to work when America is healthy enough to get back to work. Be responsible, be a leader. That's not what you are. You don't take responsibility because you supposedly say you have power, this total power, but you don't, because you don't have any responsibility for it. You don't take any responsibility for your actions. So your presidency cannot end quickly enough. November can't come quickly enough, because you are a clear menace to this country.